please, if you haven't watched the actual series, and you're under the age of 16, then you should not be watching this video. Alright, if you haven't guessed it already by the title, we are looking at Fiesta, but with Squid Game. So ours is going to be PG-13. And the goal is that we're basically building each room and have a different way of approaching the challenge within Fiesta. Now, this was actually a live stream yesterday. It was like 4.5 hours, so the video you're watching right now is sped up about like 10 times or something to make it fit into roughly 8 minutes or something. Yeah, here we had a tree that, here I had a tree that I quickly did in ZBrush because it's just faster than doing organic sculpting in Blender. Making sure that the character size are correct. Obviously there's a lot more smaller things that are added here, like for example technically the gun parts, where the guns in the series are firing from. In our case that's going to be an apple gun or something like that, we'll see. And then we got the kebbing, obviously. I was taking care of that puppet. And then the honeycomb room, this one is interesting. Of course I can't have like a honeycomb minigame. I mean, technically maybe. I don't know. But we figured there's actually a funnier approach to it during the live stream. And I do have to say that during the live stream there's a lot of players there, so essentially some of these ideas came from players as well. So we create the honeycomb shapes, and instead of you having to do that, you like cut it out, you basically have to run on it like one lap, and if you don't make it, then you get eradicated pretty much from the competition. Alright, then this is the tug of war. Well, this is an actual very difficult approach, but the idea was kind of cool, so we figured we'll try. Essentially, there is a skill in the game already that kind of allows you to pull a player towards you. And we're gonna set it up in a way, or at least that was the goal for this little event, that when 10 players, which are 10 per team on each side, when 10 players are clicking that skill at the same time within a given threshold, so let's say within the same 2 seconds, that's one pull from the enemy team towards the edge. And so more of a competition of keeping your pace and doing exactly as your team leader, the one in the front man, is saying, to basically pull the other team off the platform. And of course, please keep in mind this is not official content. This is merely, me after finishing work on a weekend or on a Friday, coming up with new ideas that could be fun. Maybe if they were just like a GM hosted event or something. But either way, it was more of a challenge. Like, hey, how would you do a Squid Game in Fiesta if you wanted to? And so after a couple of hours yesterday with people on stream and thinking about mechanics that exist in the game and are fun to play, we started to I started to model this thing, and then do the blockouts and figure out how I was gonna approach this scenario. So for tug of war, there's this please, if you haven't watched the actual series and you're under the age of 16, then you should not be watching this video. But either way, in the actual series, it's quite a gruesome scene where they're pulling each other off those platforms, and the idea was that we create a team animation, kind of like how you have animations on like mounts and such. Yeah, and then if one side gets pulled off too much, I'm gonna add like a weight to that. Then the animation plays for when the players are falling off, and half the team will be on the ground and the other team will be upstairs, you know, victorious. Yeah. Overall, I mean, we spend a lot of time during the stream talking, and that is actually why, you know, some of the process is slower than others. Because, like, it's pretty straightforward. There's a lot of reference out there, and of course we can't make it exactly like Squid Games. Reason being, one, you know, we can't do it justice with the game engine that we have, and two, you know, it's very high poly if you want to put in every single detail from the show. So, you know, this is a more of a miniature version of that same thing. The idea was, however, that, you know, if we're actually, you know, making this or something, it'd be great to have it kind of used to the guild tournament system, where you can have observers and they're just watching. You know, it'd be kind of funny, I think. Again, please do not expect this to be actually coming ever. This was more of a weekend project. When I do those, I don't always necessarily go in with the intent of having that to be content, or like suggesting it to be content. So yeah, just be aware of that. There's probably like 30 or 50 of these projects that never made it into the game, but they were just fun to work on for prototyping. And you know, sometimes something seems like a great idea, and then you're actually, you know, building it and you're testing it out, and you're like, you know what, this isn't fun at all, so it could be that, you know. So that's why, I mean, just because the show has so much popularity right now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the content would be good. So yeah, this was kind of tough. The sleeping room, everybody was thinking like, how are you going to do that? Well, okay, what we have to do is we have to disable how stats work, because otherwise it's always going to be the highest level players in there that win, right? So, and you know, it's basically just a PvP zone, and you have a timer that's running, and the lights go off, and you know, things like that. So essentially it's more of like, if you team up, I guess, against people, that works. If you do it alone, you're not going to be able to really kill someone, I think. Just mainly because the static damage won't be that high. It'll be more like if, you know, 2 or 3 people go against one person, and that's an option. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and you know, tune in next time during the live stream. It's always a lot of fun. I know we had a lot of fun yesterday, so yeah, take care.